Okay.
Hi, everyone. This is Michelle from the Western Quebec Literacy Council, and I'm here with our outreach coordinator, Krish. And today, today we're doing our family literacy activity, Build Your Own Fantasyland book. So this one is going to be pretty exciting. We're going to have to use our imagination. So I hope you brought your imaginations. And we're going to build our very own fantasy land and learn how to make it into a book. So let's get started. Before we build the book, we're going to have to come up with a story, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of brainstorming today. We're not actually going to write the book because that takes a lot of time, and you know, we're doing this by Zoom, so we can't go on forever. But it's going to give you a really good starting point for you and your family to create your own book. So in this brainstorming, you'll come up with lots of ideas that later on you can draw and write and put it all inside of a book. Of course, we'll do some drawing today. I hope that you all have some paper and pencils with you at your table or desk, wherever you might be, because we're gonna doodle a lot today. All right, so this is some big words here, narrative writing. So we're gonna do some kind of writing, but you don't necessarily need to use writing in your story. You can tell a story just with pictures too. But we're also gonna talk about writing today, and you can choose what kind of story you wanna make after the workshop. So there's different types of narrative writing. If you think of your favorite bedtime stories, you know, some are realistic fiction. So that's not a true story, but something that seems like it could be very real, like a story about a kid going to school or something like that. Then we have a personal narrative, and that's somebody telling their own story. And then we have fantasy right here, and that's what we're going to work on today. That one to me is the most exciting. All right, so the way we're going to build our book is we're going to start our brainstorming by using a story map. So a story map is just a tool, like it's a template. So that means it's a plan for our story, and it helps us come up with ideas. So these are the basic elements of most stories. In most, you have a character, right? Our little character here. And then you have a setting. So you decide where your story is taking place. And then there are the events in the plot. The plot means these are the things that happen in the story to make it go forward, you know? If nothing ever happens in your story, it'll be pretty boring. So all stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So we're going to think about what we're going to have in the beginning of our story, in the middle, in the end. First, though, we're going to have to come up with our characters. So here's some little characters that I created. There are different types of characters. You can have people, and you can have creatures. And because we're doing a fantasy land, it can include some robots, I think. Robots are not so fantastical anymore. They seem very possible. They are. Used to be sci-fi. Now I've moved forward on my screen and I won't go forward back. There always has to be one technical difficulty, at least. Okay, I'm on the right track again soon. Let me share my screen again. All right, so we're going to do our brainstorming now. So we're going to create a character. So this is something I'd like you to do with your family, you know, get mom and dad and whoever, grandma, grandpa, or your caregiver to get involved, your brothers and sisters, and kind of come up with some characters together. It's a really great family activity. You can each choose parts and characters to come up with.
Yeah, we've got Honey Bunny and Bun Bun.
Okay. Honey Bunny and Bun Bun.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
so when you're creating your character, we're going to think about things like, what does your character look like, right? And our imaginations are the only limits.
yeah.
And then we have then we have to decide what your character's personality is like, right? So are they brave? Are they kind of cowardly? Are they scared? They need a little extra motivation to go out on their adventure. Are they sleuths? You know, they're the detectives. Are they, you know, we're going to come up with some characteristics as well. So there's physical characteristics, what they look like, and then we also have their personalities, what they are like. Okay, so now we're going to go to the whiteboard. Let's go to the whiteboard, and this is where we're gonna brainstorm together. So I want to hear your ideas. There.
Okay.
All right. So, and we can doodle them out. And if you guys want to, sorry, I stopped it again. Okay, hold on, whiteboard. I want to make it so that you can also, Trish, will they be able to annotate on
Yeah,
this now, or
they
do I have
should
to
be.
do something?
No,
Okay,
no, they should
so
be.
you guys can,
Sorry, a wet dog.
so you can try drawing on this if you'd like.
Okay.
So you said that your character is a bunny.
Yeah. There's Honey Bunny, who is a floppy bunny.
Oh, we have floppy ears. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Floppy bunny ears. Forgive my drawing on this.
Yeah.
It's not my usual medium. Whoa, does he have big eyes or little eyes?
No,
No.
little eyes.
Not a
Little
Cyclops
eyes.
bunny.
Not a Cyclops bunny.
Does he have a little bunny nose? Yeah.
Yeah. Toby, here. Lie down.
Can you guys draw?
I think, let's see. And then Bun.
I think bunnies have buck
Let's
teeth
see.
Yeah, I can add book teeth.
instead of a tongue.
Oh.
Maybe
There we
buck
go.
teeth.
That was like his little mouth. See? Well,
Yeah. Then we've got.
here, let's give him some teeth.
Sorry, my drawing's not going to be much better because it's with my finger.
Oh yeah, no worries. I have like
Toby, lie
I
down.
have a drawing tablet here, and you know, yay!
There we go.
A drawing
And-
tablet I am not used to anymore. On this whiteboard thing too is not always.
Yeah. So Bun Bun's a little bit smaller. And
He's brown.
he's probably, I don't have that option.
Ow,
Get off, Toby.
ow, that hurt.
Oh, here's Brown.
Oh,
He's
you've got brown? Okay.
Wait, I need to make it thicker. Brown honey bun? No, not honey
Yeah.
bun. This one's bun bun, right?
Bun.
Bun. Yeah,
Here, I might just do his outline brown.
yeah. Bun Bun.
Bun
And
bun.
salad.
Yay.
Is a gray rabbit.
What color is honey bunny? Is honey bunny
More of a-
like?
A goldeny
Honey?
blonde color.
Okay, this
yeah.
is probably the closest I can get with this guy here, with our whiteboard colors. Honey bunny.
Yeah.
Do they wear any clothes? Are they the kind of animals
No.
in stories that
No.
wear clothes? No.
No.
Do they
No,
have
but they
any
are going to have a backpack.
Oh, backpack. Yeah. Okay. I won't color all of Honey Bunny because we'll.
What do they keep in the backpack?
Well, that's what we've been deciding because he needs all of his stuff in his backpack to do his big quest that he's going to do to go find the wishing rock.
Okay,
Okay, so we will talk about those things after too.
Yes, we know that
we'll-
they have backpacks so that they can carry their stuff, but we don't know
yeah,
what's in it yet.
okay.
backpack.
Well, maybe some
backpack.
snacks.
You've got some, we'll get there
They
after.
probably have to carry some snacks,
Yeah,
carrots, right?
yeah.
This is the worst backpack.
I mean, if I was a bunny, I'd keep carrots in my backpack.
I
Yeah.
think it's pretty good.
Thank
I've
you,
always wanted to
thank you.
eat.
I really appreciate that. I have the
Yeah.
really thick pencil right now. I think that's my problem.
And you've got like 20 things open. Okay?
They have a backpack too.
Yeah. There we go.
Are their backpacks the magical?
I think they're going to be for all of the stuff that they're going to be fitting
And
in them.
Okay, yeah, they would have
Yeah.
to be, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like Dora's backpack.
Yeah.
Okay.
because they need tent, they both need a tent. They both need their sleeping bag and a bunny
Oh.
mat and a blow up mattress
And a boat to get down
and
the
a
river
boat.
And a boat. Is it like a
Yeah.
sailboat? Like
or kayaks.
Whitewater kayaks
kayaks.
Because
Can I
it's-
get a-
because
I
it's a
mean-
river of rapids.
a kayak? This is my kayak.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a reference for a kayak here, so we'll
Pretty
just
good,
say
though.
kayak. Or a canoe.
There we go.
Anyways, so I think so. You guys can keep working on your character development as we
Yeah.
go along. Now we're going to go back to our presentation.
And I guess each bunny has its own personality, like one. So we have to.
Yes, now actually, yes, that's right. We have to do our personality. I shouldn't have gone off of the whiteboard. Let's go back to the whiteboard. Let's clear
Like
it.
just one characteristic about each one that makes them distinct.
Honey bunnies usually
Okay,
are
so-
brave bunny.
Honey bunny. Do you want to write brave right here?
Me too.
You.
Me, okay.
What's the other one? Bun bun?
Bun bun, yeah.
What's bun bun like?
Bun bun often solves the problems, right?
Yeah.
A problem solver.
Oh,
Problems.
so like the detective too.
An explosive carrier.
Yes. And demolitions expert.
Oh, that's cool.
Because, a bedtime story is not complete without explosives.
This is my explosion. It's not very
Oh,
good. Why
dang
is
it.
my pencil stuck on so thick? That's my problem right now. I can't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Now I figured it out.
And salad. What's salad's characteristic, Thomas?
Salad. I don't know what salads is because he's usually the one who digs the getaway holes.
Yeah.
Getaway holes.
Yeah.
He's so,
Instead of a getaway car, it's a getaway
sounds-
hole.
he sounds energetic. Maybe
Yeah. Energetic. Yeah.
if he's got energy to build or to not build, to dig those holes to get away, he must be very
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, he must, or she must talk very quickly
He
too.
also has a machine to help him.
Oh, he has a
Yeah,
machine.
he's got a little bunny digger.
A
Run,
bunny.
run,
Okay.
And it's got a point on it.
Okay.
Okay, well, these are really interesting characters for sure. I'm loving it so far. Okay, so now we know who our characters are and what they're like. And of course, feel free to keep developing your characters after our workshop because it never stops, right? We always
Yeah.
learn new things about our characters as we go
Yeah.
along.
They all have a different speaking voice.
Yeah.
You know,
And sometimes if it's a longer story, they grow as the story goes along as well. 'Cause Thomas
Yeah.
is like the Percy Jackson series, and the characters change a little bit over the series as they grow up, right, Thomas?
Yeah,
That's right. Every good story has some character evolution. Yes,
character development.
Yeah.
yeah, they grow as people and they learn lessons throughout the story usually. Well, as people or bunnies, of course.
Yeah.
Or monsters or fairies or dragons. So the next part we need to figure out is our setting. So we're going to spend a few moments planning the setting. Do you know what is a setting?
You're a setting is, Thomas?
Yes, a place.
Yeah, it's the place that our story is going to take place, right?
The setting is the Swamp of Sadness.
Oh yes, you have multiple settings, right? You have
Yeah.
different settings in your book, and that's very normal too. Because if your character is going on an adventure, they're going to go to different places probably. So here we are at another brainstorm.
Well, one
What?
setting.
So-
Well, there's one setting that doesn't change at all. The wilderness.
Yeah, it's all in the wilderness. You're right.
right?
Is there a
okay.
name? Do you guys have a name of that land?
Do you have a name for where the bunnies live?
Bunny Town.
Bunny Town.
Oh,
Yeah. So things we need to do, like, here's some
No, not
questions
bunny.
that'll make you think about your setting.
Bunny HQ.
Bunny HQ. That's where they.
So
Start
is your
off,
land, is your land a hot desert? Is it a place full of seas? Does it have tall mountains? Is it flat?
It's in
Your
the
different
mountains.
settings will have different
Mountain.
characteristics,
Yeah,
right?
in the mountains.
What makes it different than where you live right now too? Because this is a fantasy land. So it might be a lot like the place you know now, or it might be
Oh, they talk.
very
Yeah.
different. It
They
might be
talk.
very, yeah. So we'll write those things down when we go back to the whiteboard. Now, some other things to think about are, you know, well, now that you know what your like we're thinking about what it looks like, but what does it smell like? Think about the kinds of sensations your characters might feel in your fantasy land. Smell, hearing, touch, taste. Maybe there's a tree with flowers that smells like grilled cheese sandwiches. Maybe the rain feels slimy. Or there's strange sounds in your land, maybe. Maybe the rocks talk. You don't know. The fantasy land, we can do anything we want. And let's write down some of our ideas on the whiteboard. Okay, so all right. I hear you have a dog too. My dog's being quiet so far. No, that's okay. I'm warning you that my dog might start barking in the background as well. Okay, so we have the Swamp of Sadness, I hear.
Yeah.
Samp.
Whoa, damn. I need to work on my spelling. Swamp of Sadness. So what does it look like there? I can imagine.
What do you think it's like there, Thomas?
All swampy.
All swampy, gray
What,
sky.
what's the color? What's the color of sadness?
What color does you think when you think of sadness?
Gray and black.
Oh,
Uh,
that's so it's
Cloudy
gray and
skies.
black.
Kind of like it is outside today, where it just sucks the color out of everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there other settings in your story? Because I feel like your bunnies, they go to a lot of places
Yeah.
digging those holes.
Yeah, there was the River of Rapids. That's a really fast river, right, Thomas? With lots of sharp rocks and bends and waterfalls and
So
cold
that
water.
makes must make a lot of noise. What kind of
Yeah.
sounds? What kind of
It
sounds
just
do
sounds like
the rapids make?
what sound do they make, Thomas?
A lot of splashing.
Splashing
Okay,
and
so-
roaring.
Yes,
Like
splashing
really-
and roaring.
Yeah,
Whoosh, whoosh. That sounds like a whoosh.
yeah,
Whoosh.
whooshing. Yes. Oh, Toby, no.
Are your lands, do they look a lot like the ones here in real life, or is there anything strange and different in your land?
Is there anything strange and different for, or is it like Earth basically, except with talking rabbits?
Rabbit.
Like Earth, but with talking rabbits.
Okay, well, talking rabbits make things very exciting. Do you like rabbits a lot?
He
you
does.
have a
Just one
rabbit?
second, Toby.
This little guy is gonna be going down the rapids soon. Oh wait, he's a bunny. Give him some ears. There's 3 bunnies. Yeah, very.
We're just running the dog down to the other end of the house. He's got some border collie in him, and he is trying to nip / herd the toddler who's playing with fire trucks. So
That's all good. It's a family
Yeah.
activity. We're expecting these things for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so now we know who our characters are. We know what our setting is. So the next part is we get to decide what our beginning, middle, and end will be. So this is a lot of technical literary terms, but it's here to explain to you the way a story usually works. Okay, so this is called a story arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have in the beginning, and what happens in the beginning of a book usually?
something to grab your attention, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we learn about your characters, right? And the setting. So we're setting up the story. We're introducing our characters. We're telling our readers what the place looks like, what it feels like. Then there's usually always some kind of incident. So something happens.
You're
Something
hungry.
usually happens to get our story going. Like something will happen, some kind of incident will happen that'll motivate our character to go on some kind of adventure or solve some kind of problem, right? Because if we just set up the story and nothing intriguing ever happens, then our story doesn't really go anywhere. Then it doesn't have a plot. So after this incident happens, think of a story that we all kind of know and love. And what's the incident that motivates the character to go out on their adventure? Let's think Harry Potter, maybe Harry Potter. What is the incident that happens to Harry Potter? Do you guys know Harry Potter?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I do. I've only watched the first movie though.
Well, that's perfect because the incident
I haven't
happens in
read the
the
book.
beginning. So what happens is he finds out that he's a wizard, right? Does he not get?
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but he gets some kind of letter
A
or
whole
something.
bunch of owls coming
Yes,
down
that's-
the place and paper.
So
And,
that's yeah, that's the
what?
thing that happens to change his story and to set him off on his adventure to Hogwarts, right? So
Yeah.
then there's called rising action, and this is where like this would be where he goes off to school into this new school and he's meeting all these new people, and then something's happening
Meets his
here, right?
friends too.
Yeah, but then some problems start to happen around this part in the book, right? There's usually some kind of mystery or some kind of problem that needs to be solved that comes in at this point. And then comes the climax. So this comes sometimes is a battle, you know, where the good guys are against the bad guys, or it can be where They come head to head with their problem here in this part.
You solve
So
the
then-
mystery or,
Yeah, exactly. They solve the mystery. They come face to face with the bad guy. They, you know, they discover the solution to their problem, whatever it might be. And then after that, the story starts to go down the roller coaster. So we find out whether our characters were successful or if they failed at resolving their problem. And then we tie things up at the end. Usually the problems get resolved. Sometimes they don't get resolved. Sometimes we have a cliffhanger that leaves things open for another book,
for part 2.
right? So, yeah. So let's go to the whiteboard.
Like this cover?
I like the monster she puts when it says, let's go to the whiteboard.
Yeah.
They're cute,
Those are
eh?
great.
Mhm.
Okay. So now tell me about your story. We know we're going to set up the story with your characters and all of that. Let's think about the incident. What happens? What gets our story moving? What sends us up the roller coaster?
Honey Bunny and Bun Bun over here, an evil bunny, planning to wish for to be the most powerfulest bunny in bunny world.
Okay, they overhear him. Okay.
I
people-
need to try and get they overhear him tell his snake friends to not let anyone pass him to go up to cold ice glass mountain where the wishing stone is.
Okay, so now they have to set out on their adventure. So they overhear this guy and then they know, uh-oh, we have to save the world. So we need to go to what is it? The land of ice?
No,
Glass
land
Mountain.
of
Glass Mountain?
yeah, they need to go to Glass Mountain. But there's
Okay.
a whole bunch of things in between before they go to Glass Mountain.
Okay, so yeah, but you can come up with all those different things going up the roller coaster,
Yeah.
right? And then after they go to all their different lands and they solve all their problems, there's going to be some kind of thing happen here at the climax. Do you guys know what that is yet? Do they come head to head with that evil bunny?
Nope,
No.
they get lost.
Oh, they get lost.
They lose their compass and they get lost.
Oh, okay. And that's after they get lost, what happens?
They try and look for it but can't find it, so they build their own compass.
Okay, so this sounds like those are things that happen here. Those sound like things that happen on their way. Then what happens?
Mom?
So for the climax, Thomas, what's
Yeah.
gonna happen? Let's see.
Usually this is
climax
where
would be-
they try to solve the problem of this guy,
Yeah.
right?
The climax
so-
would be where they have to fight off the snakes, I think, right? And get the stone.
Yeah, okay. So this is where all your
Right.
real heavy action comes in right
Yeah.
here
It's a big
With
battle.
TNT.
Okay.
with TNT. So more explosions.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then what happens after they defeat him? Do they defeat him? Are they successful?
Yeah.
Success. Then what happens? They
How
go
do they
home to their little bunny homes, nice and safe, and the world is saved.
They call HQ
They call HQ.
and ask for a private jet plane
Oh,
ride
is that how
back
they get home?
home.
They get home. Is it safe to go there now?
Private
Yeah.
jet plane.
Or they use the wishing stone.
Oh yeah, they used the wishing stone.
All right, perfect. It looks like you guys have a really great story that you'll be able to make, and you'll get a kit where once you make your story with this kit, you can get it printed. It comes with that. It comes with
You know
a
what it
a
is?
voucher to get it printed.
Why didn't you tell me then? Do you know what the other
Well,
one
because
is?
you didn't, we didn't know if you'd win it or not, because it was going to be a draw depending how many participants came. Yeah,
How come you know it now?
Oh,
because you're here.
we're the only ones doing it, so you're automatically the winner, kiddo.
Yeah, you
Really?
automatically win. Yes, you get it.
I've
You get
already
to,
won?
Yes.
you've already won. You get to build your own book with this kit that I'm going to send you, and then you send it in to the company and they print it for you. Yeah, it's pretty
Have
cool.
your actual book, buddy.
All right, and now it won't,
See the
now
big
it's frozen
smile.
in.
Yeah.
Whoop. Okay, now some other things to think about. This stuff is a little bit like, it can be a little bit more technical, but it can help you make your story super great. So when you print it, it'll be perfect. The things to think about is who's telling your story, the point of view is, and another thing is the verb. Are we talking about the past or the present?
Honey bunnies.
And then we're going to tell.
Honey Bunny's point of view, or is Honey Bunny the star and we have a narrator?
Honey bunny and bun bun because this
Okay,
is
so we
the
told-
past tense.
Okay, you're gonna
Okay,
be
so
them-
Honey Bunny's saying,
Yeah.
when I was climbing up the mountain, then so-and-so did that. So they use I in the story, right?
Okay.
You say, so are you
It's gonna
talking
be
about,
called-
so if you say, if you're talking in the first person, you're going to say, I went, this will be Honey Bunny talking. I went on a great adventure, right?
Or we
And if
went on
it's
it.
from the third person point of view, yeah. And if it's from the third person, he's gonna say, you're gonna say he or she or they went on a great
They went on an
adventure.
adventure and Honey Bunny did this. Which point of view is it gonna
Yeah.
be? Is it Honey Bunny telling the story or is it me telling the story?
Honey bunny and bun bun telling the story.
Okay, so first person from Honey Bunny and Bun Bun's point of view. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Well, and you know what? You can experiment and try it out and see how it sounds and see if you like it. You can
Yeah.
experiment in 2 different ways. There are more than 2 ways, but we're gonna stick to
Yeah.
these 2 for now, because the other ones are a bit complicated and not always the best way to tell a story like this.
Yeah.
So I could say a first person point of view gives you more action, you know, it makes you feel a little bit more like you're there, but with a third person point of view, you're not as limited. So you can talk about more things outside of your characters, because when it's a third person, it's almost like there's somebody outside of the story watching it, telling what happens, you know?
Mhm. So you can know what the bad guys are up to as well, not just.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then you get to decide the verb tense of your story. And then the important thing here is that you kind of stick to you can go back and forth in time and change your verb tenses, but you have to make sure that in the section that you're talking about the past, you stay in the past, you know? So are you talking about it like if it happened, it's already happened, or are you talking about it like if it's happening right now? So if you use the past tense, you're going to say, they saw a mountain and began to climb it. And if you're in the present, they see the mountain.
Got a new idea.
You keep, well, that's just why we're doing this, so you can get lots of different ideas and we can finish it all up.
Yeah,
at the
I'm going to
end.
send this to you guys too, and you can look at it and refer back to it and see and decide what you want. And this is where you can play around with words too and decide how you want to tell your story. Like I said, you can experiment and you can try both. And then you'll decide, you'll know which one sounds right for your story.
So yeah, the important thing to remember too is try it out in different ways before you write it in the final book.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
practice, you make a rough copy, maybe a second rough copy, maybe
Yeah.
even
Send
a
it
third rough copy. And then
Yeah.
you're like, this is the way. You're happy with it. Then you put it in the final book.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're not scratching
Yeah,
things
and
out and everything in the final.
That's how
book.
writers do it. They usually have
Yeah.
many drafts. That's what we call a draft. So your first draft is usually not your best work. This is where
Yeah.
you're just getting your ideas out and then you
And
polish it
some
up.
even start right over again. I have a friend
Yeah.
who's writing a book, and she says she's at the point where she's just throwing out the manuscript and she's starting again because it's just
Yeah.
not working.
Oh yes. Yeah. And I mean, your book doesn't have to be perfect, of course,
Nope.
but it's nice to
Grows.
look at your first draft and then look at your next draft and see the improvement and how far you came and how much better your characters are and, you know, all of that stuff. So here's some stuff that you can use in your story to make it exciting. We use language, which we call figurative language. This is to help the reader really visualize what's happening in your story, right? So there are a lot of different types of figurative language. Today, we're just going to talk about metaphors and similes because they're some of the most common ones. So a metaphor is like a figure of speech that's used to make a comparison between two things that aren't alike, but do have something in common. So her tears were a river flowing down her face. So you know that she didn't really have a literal river flowing down her face. You know that we're talking about tears, but a river is very big and there's lots of water in it. So this makes the reader think, wow, she must have been crying a lot, right?
Yeah.
So instead of just saying she was crying a lot, you can say something like her tears are a river. Then that gives the impression and it allows your reader to visualize, to see, you know, something like this little ghost here who's crying a lot, not just little tears, right?
Yeah.
Then there's something called a simile, and a simile uses the words like or as to compare things. So in this way, we would say her tears flowed like a river. So we're comparing, and in a metaphor, we're saying her tears were a river, basically. So can you guys think of, we're going to the whiteboard, here's a new monster. Do you like him?
Oh, we don't see the monster yet. There's the monster.
All right. Let's go to the whiteboard. And clear this. Okay. Can we think of a
A metaphor. We think of
So
a metaphor in for our story. The rocks were sharp like knives.
Yes.
That's more, although that's like
that's a
knives.
yeah.
Yes, rocks are sharp like knives.
Yeah. But we can turn it into a metaphor too.
Yeah.
But we'll write it here first. The rock.
I was always better at similes than metaphors.
They're easier for sure.
Yeah.
And here we would write the rocks were sharp knives.
Sharp knives sticking out of the water. Yeah.
Ooh, I just had a new idea for
Yeah.
the river rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's gonna happen?
The rocks go up and down like this.
Oh, they just
Shing.
appear out of nowhere.
Shing,
Oh boy,
shing.
that's gonna make it hard.
Wow,
for
that
them.
sounds really like that's an adventure for sure. Here's our sharp rocks. And you see how if we would have just said the rocks were sharp, imagine your story, the rocks are sharp. How does that feel? But if you say the rocks were sharp knives sticking out of the water,
Makes
It
you
makes
ready to
it-
see their, yes, think of their
It
boat
makes it
about to
feel
get
more
wrecked.
dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Brack appears right beside you. Shing!
So you guys can think, yeah, you guys can spend some time thinking about those different techniques that you can use when
Yeah.
you're writing your story. So that's something you can keep working on at home, right? Like, obviously, we don't have time to do it all during this workshop, but I'm going to email this to you and you can use it as a guide. So now you can decide too what kind of book you want to make. Will it have only words to tell your story? Or will it be a combination of words and images? Or only images? It can be a comic book, like we have here. Or it can be an illustrated story, like many of the
Combination of
storybooks.
words and images.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some take
yeah.
some words.
So-
Yeah.
An illustrated story.
Because
Okay,
that's
so
not
our brainstorms are over, but I encourage you to keep brainstorming, right? Because
Yeah.
it sounds like you guys have a lot more ideas to put down.
Oh, yes. We've got quite a big story to write up together, don't we, Thomas?
And then I can
Yeah,
get
so you
every
take
night.
some,
Yeah.
decide which ideas you like best. Then you're gonna write your first draft, polish it all up, and then you can draw and write it in a book. You might
Yes.
have more than 2 drafts. It all depends how seriously you want to take it, things.
Yeah.
But
I
for
find
sure,
with- for me, when I write between like the first and second or second and third draft, more ideas come up too.
Mhm.
So it's like the
Oh,
first and second draft kind of like spark new ideas.
Yeah. Well, you,
That's
Thomas,
right.
have been getting new
Details.
ideas just doing all of the brainstorming here, haven't you?
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So you're going to get a little booklet to fill out in the prize pack that we're sending you. But for anybody who's didn't win the prize, or for you, if you want to get started right away and do your first draft, if you want to do your first draft in something like this that you make at home, this is pretty easy and pretty fun to make your own book. So this is a short video, which I'm going to show you guys now on how to make a book.
There's no sound, Michelle.
Oh, thanks. I didn't even realize that the
Oh.
sound was not on. So how do I turn the sound on? Advanced computer audio.
Yeah. Then when you go share,
Okay. Share. I am pressing share, but now it's not showing my screen, just my audio.
when the share it down at the bottom, I think there's like a checkbox when you're sharing video.
Okay, I don't know why. Hmm. Oh, of course. Let me see. Can you guys hear it? Can you hear it?
No,
No. Share sound. Okay, I'm gonna try again.
A paper cutter.
Good.
Step 1. Cut the blank
Do you guys want me to start it over?
paper to the size you
I
want.
have them on mute.
Yeah, put it.
I'll start it over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Journal. Create a space where you can showcase and preserve your poems, drawings, and thoughts. Design and make a simple yet beautiful book that is as unique as you are. You will need 10 sheets of blank paper, a sheet of colored or decorative paper, scissors, a sheet of cardstock, a ruler, a pencil, a bookbinder's awl, a large sewing needle, waxed thread, a decorative strip of paper, and glue. Optional, a paper cutter. Step 1. Cut the blank paper to the size you want. Then fold each paper in half and insert them one inside the other. Step 2. Cut the decorative sheet of paper to the same size as the blank sheets. Fold this sheet in half and place it on the outside of your folded blank pages. Use a paper cutter to measure and trim the pages and ensure sharp, even edges for your book. Step 3. Cut the cover page slightly taller and wider than the other sheets. Then fold it in half and place it on the outside of the decorative sheet. Step 4. Open the folded pages to the center. Measure and mark the center of the fold with a pencil. Then mark 2 more spots, one halfway from the center to the top and one halfway from the center to the bottom. Make 5 sewing marks in the fold. If you make a book using more than 10 pieces of paper, a stronger seam will strengthen the spine of the book. Step 5. Use the bookbinder's awl to pierce a hole at each of the marks in the fold. Be sure that each hole goes all the way through the cover page. Step 6. Thread the needle and push it through the center hole from the outside of the book to the inside. Leave 3 inches of thread hanging on the outside. Step 7. Push the needle through the top hole to the outside of the book. Then bring the thread across the back of the book to the bottom hole and thread it back through the center. Step 8. Tie off the thread and trim the ends. Then glue your strip of colorful paper down the outside of the book spine to cover the thread. Now, grab a pen and start writing. Did you know? In 1868, David McConnell Smith patented one of the first sewing machines specifically made to bind books.
So yeah, you can make your own book. If you don't have one of those special needles, you can just use a really big needle and kind of punch the holes in your pages.
We've got one of those needles.
Yeah, we've actually got it all in our
Oh, you
craft kit.
do?
Yeah, we like crafts.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
Nice.
You guys
Come
are all
on.
set up.
yeah.
So you can make one of these to put your rough drafts in and like your ideas to lay them out on the page. You can decide what images you want to create to go with your words and where you want to put your words. Those things are really good to plan in advance because sometimes you're going to change your ideas of what words you want to go with
Yeah.
which images.
Sometimes you might, when the book opens, the picture's on the left and the writing's on the right. Or sometimes you might have a picture on top and writing on the bottom.
Yeah.
So thinking about the layout helps too, right?
E-book
Yeah, I'll send you a book.
of your book.
No, it's just a book. If you write a book and then show them your book.
Yeah,
So
if you
get another
share your creations with us in our family literacy group, you'll get a book. So on top of your other prize, like just a storybook.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you share when you're done your book,
Why not
or even
Why
Or
not
even when
we
you're-
copy the entire book?
yeah, show us your whole book if you'd like. We would love to see it when you're done. That would be excellent.
Maybe,
I'm gonna make a whole bunch of different books.
Yeah, I know you like making books, don't you?
But like
maybe
just
when
story,
your
but
book-
like left on cliffhangers.
Yeah.
maybe when your book is finished and you send it in and get it back from the company, we can like read it live and
Yeah.
share it with the community and show
Would
the
you like to do
cover,
that?
show the pictures, show
Yeah.
your artwork, share
Yeah.
it with. The best thing about a book and a story is sharing it.
We're gonna make
Yeah.
our own book and then tell
Yeah.
them a story from that book.
Yeah, Thomas says he'd be interested in sharing it when it's done and we get it back.
One thing, an interesting technique I wanna suggest is to keep make your book a page turner. So if someone else is reading it, how do you make them want to turn the next page? Is you don't finish kind of like the idea. Like on one page it says, and they opened the door and they were shocked. It makes you want to know what happened.
Yeah,
So they have to
that's
turn
what
the
you
page.
really like. I think
So
that's what Thomas
never
really likes
tell
with
them-
the Rick Riordan books.
Yeah, never tell them the ending on that page and make them turn the page. I
Super
couldn't
fast,
believe
like-
what they saw. Then they have to turn the page to see.
What it is they saw. Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes them want to keep on turning. So every page has a bit of a mystery that they're just about to find out, but they have to turn the page to find out.
Yeah.
So something to think how you plan the stages of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Should be.
You guys have anything else that you want to share? That's the end of our
Anyone
workshop
wanna
for
share
today.
comments? No.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you guys for participating.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done it without you and your
Yeah.
great ideas.
Yeah.
All
Right,
right,
thank
so
you.
you'll get your prize in the mail really soon. And thanks for participating. We can't wait to see your book.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Have
you.
a great weekend.
You
Enjoy.
too.
Bye.
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 Mom.